Take a breath with me for a moment, not a rushed breath, not the kind you take while checking your phone or thinking about what comes next. A steady breath, the kind that reminds you that you're here, that you're present, that you're still standing. There comes a point in every demanding life when motivation no longer answers the call. You can be talented, you can be capable, you can be driven, and still wake up one day feeling strangely hollow, tired in a way sleep doesn't fix, successful on paper but unsettled inside. For leaders, entrepreneurs, and professionals under pressure, this moment is not a sign of weakness. It is often a sign of growth. It means the old fuel no longer works. It means the season is asking something deeper of you. Early on, motivation feels like enough. It's the spark, the surge, the rush of starting something new. Motivation is powerful, but it is also temporary. It responds to excitement, novelty, applause, results. And when those fade, as they always do, motivation fades with them. Many people panic at this point. They assume something is wrong with them. They try to manufacture energy. They chase another goal, another metric, another external reward. But the strongest people don't do that. The strongest people get quiet. They stop asking, how do I feel today? And start asking a more grounding question. Why does this matter to me at all? Purpose does something motivation cannot. Motivation pushes. Purpose steadies. Motivation shouts. Purpose whispers. And somehow carries farther. When you know why you do what you do, you don't need to be hyped to show up. You don't need constant affirmation. You don't need perfect conditions. You act because the work is an expression of who you are, not a transaction for how you want to feel. This is where inner strength begins, not in intensity, but in clarity. Inner strength is the ability to remain aligned when the noise gets loud. It's the discipline to choose what matters over what's urgent. It's the courage to act from conviction rather than pressure. And it is built slowly, quietly, in moments no one applauds. Most pressure in leadership comes from the outside. Deadlines, expectations, competitors, market shifts, opinions, metrics. None of these are inherently wrong. But when external pressure becomes the primary driver of your behavior, something subtle happens. You start reacting instead of choosing. You start performing instead of leading. You start outsourcing your sense of worth to outcomes you can't fully control. Self-mastery begins when you reclaim authority over your inner life, not control over everything, just responsibility for what is yours, your attention, your integrity, your response, your standards. You may not control the economy, the timeline, or other people's choices, but you always control how you show up to the work and to the moment. Character is what remains when outcomes are uncertain. Anyone can look confident when things are working. Anyone can speak boldly when the path is clear. But dignity is revealed when the results lag behind the effort. Resilience is revealed when the vision remains steady even as the feedback wavers. Quiet strength is revealed when you keep doing the right thing without needing immediate proof that it's paying off. There is a deep freedom that comes from prioritizing character over outcomes. Outcomes fluctuate, markets turn, projects fail, wins fade faster than we expect. But character compounds, discipline compounds, integrity compounds. The person you become through the process stays with you long after a specific result is forgotten. This is why knowing your why matters most when motivation fades. Your why is not a slogan. It's not a branding exercise. It's not a sentence you recite. It's the honest answer to why this work is worth your energy, your time, and your sacrifice. It's the reason you're willing to endure boredom, discomfort, and uncertainty without losing yourself. Purpose doesn't remove difficulty. It gives difficulty meaning, and meaning changes everything. When your purpose is clear, pressure no longer defines you. It informs you, but it doesn't own you. You can hear criticism without collapsing. You can face uncertainty without freezing. You can carry responsibility without becoming brittle. Because your identity is no longer built on being impressive. It's built on being faithful to what you believe matters. Leadership at its healthiest is not loud. It is grounded. It does not rush to prove itself. It does not need to dominate the room. Grounded leaders listen more than they speak. They move with intention. They choose consistency over theatrics. And they understand that trust is built not through words, but through repeated, aligned behavior over time. This kind of leadership starts internally. Before you can lead others well, you must learn to lead yourself. That means learning how to stay steady when emotions fluctuate. It means developing the capacity to delay gratification. It means being honest with yourself about your motives. Are you chasing growth because it serves something meaningful or because it distracts you from an inner restlessness you haven't addressed? Self-mastery is not about suppression. It's about direction. It's not about denying emotion, but about not being ruled by it. You can feel discouraged and still act with discipline. You can feel uncertain and still choose courage. You can feel tired and still honor your commitments. That is not cruelty toward yourself. That is respect for the person you are becoming. Many high-performing people confuse pressure with purpose. They believe that if they are stressed, they must be doing something important. But pressure without purpose leads to burnout. It narrows your vision. It shortens your patience. It makes you reactive and defensive. Purpose, on the other hand, expands you. It invites reflection. It creates room for patience. It allows you to hold responsibility without losing perspective. When you operate from purpose, you stop asking, how do I stay motivated? And start asking, how do I stay aligned? Alignment is quieter than motivation, but far more powerful. Alignment means your actions reflect your values even when no one is watching. It means your schedule reflects what you say matters. It means your decisions are consistent across easy days and hard ones. This is where dignity enters the picture. Dignity is not pride. It is self-respect rooted in principle. It's the calm confidence that comes from knowing you are acting in accordance with what you believe, even if the outcome is uncertain. Dignity allows you to lose without becoming bitter and to win without becoming arrogant. Resilience is often misunderstood as toughness, but true resilience is not about being unbreakable. It's about being adaptable without losing your core. It's about bending without abandoning yourself. It's about returning again and again to your why when the path becomes unclear. There will be seasons when the work feels heavy, when progress slows, when recognition doesn't come, when doubt whispers that maybe you should quit, pivot, or numb yourself with distraction. In those moments, motivation will not save you. Only meaning will. Only the quiet knowledge that what you are building is connected to something deeper than immediate reward. This is especially true for those who lead others. People don't need you to be endlessly energetic. They need you to be steady. They need you to be honest. They need you to be consistent. Your calm becomes their calm. Your clarity becomes their confidence. Your discipline gives them permission to do the same. Leadership is not about having all the answers. It's about holding the questions with integrity. It's about modeling how to remain human under pressure. It's about showing that success does not require abandoning values, relationships, or inner life. Spiritual growth in this sense is not separate from professional life. It is the foundation of it. Spiritual growth is the ongoing work of aligning your inner world with your outer actions. It's the practice of examining your intentions. It's the willingness to be shaped by truth rather than ego. It's learning to draw strength from meaning rather than approval. As you grow, you may notice that your ambitions change, not necessarily in size, but in substance. You begin to care less about being admired and more about being useful, less about appearing strong and more about being whole, less about winning at all costs and more about building something that lasts. This shift can feel unsettling at first. It often arrives quietly, without announcement. You just notice that the things that once drove you no longer satisfy you. That is not failure. That is evolution. It is an invitation to deepen your why, to refine your purpose, to lead from a place that is more sustainable and more honest. Inner discipline will carry you through this transition. Discipline is not rigidity, it is devotion to what matters. It is choosing long-term integrity over short-term relief. It is staying with the work when the novelty is gone and only commitment remains. And over time, something remarkable happens. You stop needing constant motivation. You develop a calm endurance. You become less reactive, more intentional, less anxious about results, more focused on process. You begin to trust yourself, not because you always succeed, but because you know you will show up with character regardless of the outcome. This trust in yourself becomes a source of quiet confidence. You no longer need to prove your worth through busyness or bravado. You know who you are. You know why you are here. And that knowing becomes a steady companion through uncertainty. So if you find yourself in a season where motivation has faded, do not rush to replace it. Sit with the silence it leaves behind. Ask what it might be making room for. Perhaps it is inviting you to move from excitement to commitment, from pressure to purpose, from chasing results to cultivating depth. You are capable of more than you realize, not because you can push harder, but because you can go deeper. You can lead with dignity, build with patience, and endure with meaning. And when you do, you will discover that the strength you've been looking for was never meant to come from motivation alone. It was meant to come from knowing why you stand, even when everything else feels uncertain. And that knowing, quiet, grounded, and honest, will carry you farther than motivation ever could.